don't even know the impact of the lockdown. Try and be forgiving of tantrums. Nothing can replace a hug. When am I going to see my mother again? You can say whatever you want. You can't threaten violence against anybody. Beginning, I was concerned about things like nutrition because when the lockdown started, we really did have trouble getting access to things. One of the things that I did was to stock up on lots of almonds because the shelf life of almonds is actually, if you keep them in the right temperature, the right environment, they last for 2 years. It's a good food to have for myself, for my children, for the whole family. So I wanted to have those accessible and available. And my main concern is, we don't even know the impact of the lockdown, not meeting friends, not going to school. Psychologically, social development, how is that impacting her? Does she get depressed? Does the weather get to her? She's not able to go to her favorite places. But she can talk a little bit and I can explain to her and I can see that I've got through to her as to why we can't go outside. And she's sort of accepted it. She's enjoying, for the most part, having both Kunal and me to herself, and social development because, I always, I like online conversations and I appreciate the fact that technology in the 21st century enables us to communicate for free across the world. It's amazing. But I still am a huge fan of offline and nothing can replace a hug. So I was, of course, worried about that and continues to be my worry. When am I going to see my mother again? When is my daughter going to play with my mother? I think we have no choice but to look at the positives and try and be forgiving of tantrums, be forgiving of them not focusing on something that you want them to do or learning a skill that you want them to master, and accept that this is not a normal time and just let them be a little bit instead of, I'm telling myself this as I tell you, she doesn't need to learn to count to 20 today. It'll happen. If you're worried about immunity, you must always turn to somebody who's experienced, not someone from the film industry necessarily. But I am good about food and I can share the things that I do, but I wouldn't necessarily say that you should do that. But you can, almonds is always been a number one item for me when it comes to snacking. And that is something that you can certainly, of course, you have to find out whether your child has a nut allergy or not, because nut allergies are out there. So almonds. When it comes to other foods, I think that foods that are high in vitamin C. So we've always given, from a young age, I was giving broccoli, green leafy vegetables to spinach, palak in Indian dishes and in continental dishes. We were giving fruit, again, papaya, berries, which are difficult to come by certainly. And it's better to get something that is seasonal and accessible to you. Things like turmeric, things like ginger, haldi, we would always add it in her milk if we felt that she was, coming down with something like a cough or cold. Haven't read every comment that has come my way, certainly, because there are a lot of comments and a lot of them can be very unkind. A lot of them can be threatening as well. And if you read them, if you're in the wrong frame of mind, then it can be very upsetting. But I've always had a very tough skin when it comes to what people say. You can say whatever you want within limit. Of course, you can't threaten violence against anybody. But in terms of what I've faced, I've not been worried for my life, but I have been offended on numerous instances.